The code to your destiny is hidden in the first light of sunrise. What if the first 7 seconds you are awake could rewrite your entire day? Are you truly awakening your body, or is it time you learned how to awaken your soul? The ancient scriptures reveal a sacred frequency, a prayer whispered in the Psalms that unlocks the heavens before the world makes its demand. This is the secret key to activating the ever-present goodness of God. Stay with me, and I will reveal how to turn the simple act of waking up into your most powerful ritual, transforming an ordinary morning into a personal altar for miracles. What truly happens in that sacred, silent space between slumber and full awareness? Have you ever felt it? That fleeting moment, a pristine canvas before the chaotic brushstrokes of the day's anxieties, to-do lists, and digital notifications begin to paint over it. Could it be that this very threshold is not an accident of biology, but a divine appointment? A personal, daily invitation from the Creator to commune with Him before the world rushes in to claim your attention. Most of humanity forfeits this sacred meeting. They reach for their phones, allowing the cold blue light of a screen to be the first thing to greet their spirit. They flood their minds with the news of the world's sorrows, the demands of others, the carefully curated illusions of social media. They essentially tell the divine, "You can wait. My worries are more urgent." And so their day begins on a frequency of lack, of stress, of reaction. They spend the next 16 hours trying to climb out of a spiritual deficit they entered into within the first minute of waking. But you, soul who seeks deeper connection, are being called to a different path. You are being called to reclaim your dawn. This isn't about a rigid religious duty. It is about understanding a spiritual law as fundamental as gravity. The frequency you establish in the first moments of consciousness dictates the harmony or dissonance of the hours that follow. Gratitude is the tuning fork. Before your feet touch the floor, before your mind fully grasps the day's agenda, the practice of gratitude is the key that turns the lock. It is the password to enter the throne room of grace. Why gratitude? Because gratitude is the highest form of faith. It is the profound acknowledgement that even before you ask for anything, even before you see how the day's challenges will be met, you trust in the unwavering goodness of God. It is a declaration that the mercy that kept you safe through the night is the same mercy that has already gone before you into the day. It is a remembrance of the promise found in Lamentations that His mercies are new every morning, not once a week, not only when things are going well, but in the dawn of this day. Imagine your spirit as a vessel. When you wake and immediately pour in anxiety, you have no room for peace. When you fill it with the world's noise, you cannot hear the still, small voice of guidance. But when the very first whispers of your conscious mind are a tapestry of thanks, you fill that vessel with liquid light. Thank you, Father, for the breath in my lungs. Thank you for the gift of another sunrise. Thank you for the beating of my heart, a divine drum that has played for me all night without my command. Thank you for the love that surrounds me, seen and unseen. Thank you for the strength that is already flowing into my limbs. Thank you for the wisdom that is dawning in my mind. Each thank you is an act of defiance against the darkness. Each one is a statement of power, claiming your divine inheritance as a child of a good and benevolent God. This practice shifts you from being a passive recipient of whatever the day throws at you into becoming an active co-creator with the divine. You are no longer just waking up to a day. You are waking up into your purpose, into His presence, into a pre-paved path of blessing. This is the secret to activating the divine presence at sunrise. It is not a complex ritual. It is a simple, profound, and radical shift of your first focus. It is choosing connection over distraction, faith over fear, and gratitude over grievance. It is the most important decision you will make all day. Now, I invite you to seal this intention with me. Write this decree in the comments below, not as mere words, but as the first brick in the foundation of your blessed day. I decree that the first light I see is the light of God's favor, unlocking doors of blessing and aligning my soul with divine purpose for this entire day. Feel the power in these words. The universe is already responding to the vibration of your grateful heart. And if this message resonates with you, also leave your contribution to this video. Subscribe, like, and share. And if it touches your heart, become a member of the channel. Every time you like and share, you strengthen this energy, help this space to grow, and carry this light to other people who need it. Now that we have turned the key of gratitude, opening the door to His presence, what do we find on the other side? We find a sacred space that must be consecrated, the altar of our mind. The battle for your day, for your peace, for your destiny, is won or lost on this very ground in the first few minutes of the morning. The world, the flesh, and the enemy understand this principle intimately. This is why the temptations to distraction are strongest at dawn. That urge to check your email, the sudden memory of a problem that needs solving, the lure of idle scrolling, are these random mental events, or are they strategic assaults designed to pull you from that holy place of connection? Can you feel the difference between the deep, resonant peace of communion and the frantic, shallow static of the world's demands? The first sacrifice God asks of you each day is not an animal or an offering of grain. It is the offering of your first thoughts. It is the conscious, deliberate act of bringing your mind into captivity to the obedience of Christ. As the Apostle Paul so wisely taught, this requires a gentle but firm discipline. It is the act of becoming the gatekeeper of your own mind. When a worry about finances attempts to barge in, do you entertain it as a guest, or do you, as the gatekeeper, deny it entry? You can acknowledge its presence without giving it power. You can say to it, "I see you, but you are not welcome at this altar. My Father is the God of all provision, and I am currently in a meeting with Him. You will have to wait." When the memory of a past hurt or a future fear knocks at the door, do you open it wide and invite it in for conversation? Or do you recognize it as an intruder trying to defile a holy moment? This is the essence of building a spiritual sanctuary within yourself. Your mind becomes the temple, and your focused attention becomes the offering. What are you placing upon that altar? Is it a sacrifice of praise, a sweet-smelling aroma of thanksgiving that rises to the heavens? Or is it the polluted offering of anxiety, resentment, and doubt? The choice is yours in every single moment, but it is never more powerful than in the stillness of the new day. Consider the profound words of the psalmist in Psalm 5:3. "In the morning, Lord, you hear my voice. In the morning I lay my requests before you and wait expectantly." Notice the sequence. First, He makes His voice heard. This is the connection, the praise, the gratitude. Then, He lays His requests. The word lay here is not one of desperate begging, but of deliberate placement. It's like an architect laying down a blueprint. He is not frantically trying to build the house himself. He is presenting the plans to the master builder with trust and expectation. And then comes the hardest, yet most crucial part. He waits expectantly. He doesn't pick the blueprint back up and start worrying about it. He doesn't run around trying to source the materials himself. He lays it down and trusts. This is the model for our morning communion. We connect through gratitude. We lay down our needs, our plans, our hopes, and our fears upon the altar of our mind, and we surrender the outcome, waiting with joyful expectation for God's good and perfect will to unfold. This act of surrender is the ultimate declaration of faith. It says, "God, I trust your wisdom more than my own worry. I trust your timing more than my own impatience. I trust your ability more than my own limitations." Is this not the secret to a life of peace? A life lived from a place of power rather than a place of panic? Once you have established the connection through gratitude and consecrated the altar of your mind through focused surrender, a miraculous transformation begins to occur. It is not that the world around you changes, but rather your ability to perceive it changes. You begin to see with your spiritual eyes. A day that might have seemed fraught with obstacles and challenges is suddenly revealed to be filled with hidden blessings and opportunities for grace. This is what Jesus meant when He spoke of those who have eyes but do not see. Without that morning connection, we walk through the day spiritually blind, bumping into circumstances, reacting to problems, and feeling like victims of fate. We see the traffic jam, but we miss the opportunity it provides for an extra moment of prayer. We see the difficult colleague, but we miss the chance to be a vessel of God's patience and love. We see the unexpected bill, but we miss the invitation to trust God as our provider on a deeper level. Activating the divine presence at sunrise is like turning on a light in a dark room. Suddenly, the shapes of things become clear. What you thought was a menacing monster in the corner is revealed to be just a coat rack. What you perceived as an impassable wall is shown to have a door you simply hadn't noticed before. This is how God's goodness operates. It is always present, always flowing, always available. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies are always new. The problem is never with the supply of God's grace. It is with our perception of it. Our morning communion calibrates our spiritual vision. Gratitude cleanses the lens of our heart from the smudges of cynicism and doubt. Surrender adjusts the focus of our soul from our problems to His promises. We begin to see the day not as a series of threats to be survived, but as a field of treasures to be discovered. Think of your day as a divine tapestry. From your limited perspective on the ground, all you can see are tangled threads, confusing knots, and seemingly random colors. It looks like a mess. But from God's perspective, from above, He sees a masterpiece being woven together. Every thread, every color, every knot has a purpose in the grand design. Your morning connection is like being lifted up just for a moment to catch a glimpse of the pattern from His point of view. It instills a deep, unshakable trust that even the dark threads of trial and hardship are necessary to highlight the brilliant gold threads of victory and testimony. You begin to understand that nothing is wasted in God's economy. Every conversation, every task, every setback can be used for His glory and for your growth, if only you have the eyes to see it. So as you move through your day, after you have made that sacred connection, do you actively look for the evidence of His handiwork? Do you search for the hidden blessings, the quiet miracles, the whispers of His guidance in the ordinary moments of your life? This is no longer a passive hope. It becomes an active treasure hunt, an exciting adventure with the Holy Spirit as your guide, revealing the wonders that have been there all along, waiting for you to simply see. Having aligned your heart through gratitude and your mind through surrender, you are now standing in a place of immense spiritual authority. It is from this sacred vantage point that you are invited to participate with God in the shaping of your day through the power of your spoken word. The scriptures begin with the ultimate declaration of this principle. And God said, "Before anything was formed, there was a word. God spoke, and light came into being. He spoke, and worlds were framed." You, being made in His image and likeness, carry a spark of that same creative power within you. Your words are not merely empty sounds that dissipate into the air. They are spiritual containers. They have the power to carry faith or fear, blessing or cursing, life or death. The question is, having connected with the source of all life in the morning, what words will you now release into the atmosphere of your day? Many people use their words in the morning to curse their own day before it has even begun. "Oh, it's going to be such a long day. I'm so tired I can't do this. I know that meeting is going to be a disaster." They are, in essence, prophesying negativity over their own lives, and then they are surprised when that prophecy comes to pass. They are using their God-given creative ability to build a prison of their own making. But you are being called to a higher way. From your place of connection, you are called to speak words that align with God's reality, not with the appearance of your circumstances. This is not about denying problems exist. It is about declaring a greater truth over them. You look at a challenging day ahead, and you don't say, "This is impossible." Instead, you declare, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." You look at a situation of confusion, and you don't say, "I don't know what to do." You declare, "The Lord is my shepherd. He leads me beside still waters. He guides me in paths of righteousness." This is the practice of speaking God's promises over your present reality. It is taking the written word of God and making it the living word in your own mouth. Do you fill your home, your car, your workspace with declarations of faith? Do you speak life over your body, your finances, your family? Your morning communion is the powerhouse that charges these declarations with divine energy. Without the connection, they can feel like empty affirmations, but spoken from a heart filled with His presence, they become decrees of the kingdom. They are commands that cause the spiritual realm to shift and come into alignment with heaven's will. Your voice, joined with His Spirit, becomes an instrument of creation. You begin to speak to the mountains of your life, commanding them to be moved. You begin to speak to the storms, saying, "Peace, be still." You stop describing the problem and you start commanding the solution. This is how you move from a defensive posture, simply reacting to life, to an offensive one, actively shaping your reality through faith-filled words. Your morning is the briefing room where you receive your divine strategy. The rest of the day is the battlefield where you execute that strategy with the weapon of His word in your mouth. The ultimate goal of this morning connection is not simply to have a good morning or even a good day. The goal is for the sacred space you cultivate at sunrise to become the permanent reality you carry within you. The objective is to transform from someone who visits the presence of God in the morning to someone who is a walking, breathing sanctuary of His presence throughout the day. The morning ritual is the anchor, the starting point, but the intention is for that connection to become your continuous, unbroken state of being. The peace you feel in the stillness of dawn is not meant to be a fleeting emotion that evaporates the moment you face your first challenge. It is meant to be the core of your being, the unshakable foundation upon which you stand, regardless of the winds and waves of circumstance. Can you imagine living from this place, where every breath is a prayer, every step is an act of faith, and every interaction is an opportunity to release the love and grace of God into the world? This is the journey from a religion of scheduled events to a relationship of constant communion. The morning prayer is where you fill your lamp with oil, but the rest of the day is about keeping that lamp trimmed and burning brightly for all to see. How is this sustained? It is sustained through moments of mindful reconnection. It's the silent thank you offer when you find a parking spot. It's the quick prayer for wisdom you whisper before sending an important email. It's the conscious choice to bless, rather than curse, the driver who cuts you off in traffic. Each of these small acts is a tether back to your morning anchor, reinforcing the connection and keeping the channel to the divine open and clear. You become a living, mobile temple, and the Holy of Holies resides within your own heart. Your very presence begins to shift atmospheres. People feel the peace that surrounds you, even if they cannot name its source. They are drawn to the light within you because it is a reflection of the Creator they were made to know. This is the legacy you build, morning by morning. By activating the divine presence at sunrise, you are not only transforming your own life, you are creating a ripple effect of grace that touches everyone you encounter. Your family feels it. Your colleagues notice it. Strangers are impacted by it. You become an answer to the prayer Jesus taught us to pray, "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven." You are, in your own sphere of influence, bringing a piece of heaven down to earth by embodying the presence of the King. This is the secret, the beautiful and simple truth of a life connected to the Creator. It begins at sunrise. It starts with a single thought of gratitude, and it unfolds into a destiny more wonderful than you could ever imagine. Let this not be just a message you have heard, but a truth that you now choose to live.